and I found out where Grace Hopper 2022 is going to be before it was released. So in this video, I'll be going over all the details of next year's conference, as well as tips for finding your accommodation and just booking your trip. You're probably wondering, how did she find this out? And very simple, the conference center accidentally leaked it. That's right, you guys. Grace Hopper next year will be held in Orlando, Florida at their convention center from September 20th through the 23rd. Now, I'd like to remind everyone that this could change based off like public health and everything, but so far it's looking like Florida. So from the booking details, we know there's going to be approximately 25,000 people permitted. I'm just rounding down because some spots are reserved for the event organizers. And this makes this next year's event roughly the size of the 2019 event, which was also held in Florida. This is down from the 30,000 in 2020, the first virtual Grace Hopper year, but I mean, we all know how that went. And I don't know at the time of filming this how many people went in 2021, so I don't have those numbers for comparison. Now, I attended both the 2017 and 2019 Orlando Grace Hoppers, and I figured I'll share what I learned. So let's talk hotels. From 2017 to 2019, Anita Borg really stepped up their conference shuttle game. Like in 2017, the shuttles only went to like those hotels that were made for the conference center. Like some hotels are like, yeah, we don't have much going for us, but we got the conference center vibes, we got the conference printers, which they charge you for, so print your resume before Grace Hopper. But originally the shuttles just serviced those. However, in 2019, they introduced a better shuttle network, so then they were able to pick up people from like the SeaWorld hotels and like the Disney affiliated hotels that aren't technically Disney hotels, but like they partner closely with Disney. Like Disney by Hampton Inn or Disney by Hilton, like those kind of ones where like you're not real Disney, but we'll count it like those hotels. Sorry for the tangent. Anyway though, those hotels are gonna be a schlep to get to. The shuttle's nice enough, it's just distance, time, whatever. You could get a hotel that's like attached to the conference center, but I will say those have significantly worse Wi-Fi. I had to stay at one in 2017 because I was an Anita Borg scholar. But our Wi-Fi was so terrible that I could only like use my computer at 2 a.m. because that was the only time like web pages would load. I figured at first we just had so many techies using the network, like we were stress testing it, it was going down. Like I felt like, oh yeah, I understood it, I get it. Turns out I looked on Yelp later and that there was a dentist convention a couple months prior and the Wi-Fi wouldn't work for them either. For me to get any homework done or send emails, I actually had to walk with my computer over to the convention center every night and just do my homework from there and then walk back at the end of the night, which was annoying but doable. Yeah. Speaking of Yelp in these hotels, you're gonna also want to read the reviews. I know in Orlando, bed bugs are a pretty big problem and you should just read the reviews to make sure you don't stay at a hotel where those are a problem. Also, if I'm not already, I will include, like, these are the hotels that were serviced by the shuttles behind me. There's no guarantee these will be serviced in next year, but they were serviced in 2019, so there's a pretty good chance. So you can wait closer until the conference to be part of their block rate. What Anita Borg does is they pretty much partner with hotels, and they're like, we will reserve 200 rooms, whatever, per hotel. And then all the GHC attendees can get a room in this hotel for some discount. But from my experience, the discount wasn't that good. Like I got a room that was normally $250 and I got $20 off it or something like that, which is still, it's nice to get that money off, but at the same time, it just came with so many contingencies, it was absolutely not worth it. There was this special term and condition that was like, if you don't check in by this first day of your reservation, you don't have your reservation anymore, we'll just release it. And you also had to pay for it. Like normally when you check into a hotel, they charge you like when you check in, but with this system, they were charging you when you booked the reservation months in advance, which created this huge problem because American Airlines canceled my flight to Grace Hopper day of in 2019. And anyway, that's a story for like another, that could be its own video if we're being honest, but just beware if you're going with the blocked hotel thing, you need to be there on the first day of your reservation or like you forfeit it. It's a terrible policy, but it is what it is, you live with it. Something I found though is if your company has like corporate travel plans or whatever, I know some of the larger companies do, I can't speak for every company, but from the ones that I've seen so far, it's actually just cheaper to book your travel through the company than wait and get it through the Anita Borg system. Now, I know some people might be worried about booking their hotel before they even know if they can get a Grace Hopper ticket. However, I would say there are definitely some advantages to it. When I was at Grace Hopper, there were a ton of events that were just happening around the city at night, you know, like when companies wanted to meet talented individuals, they'd be like, oh yeah, let's get dinner. That sounds kind of creepy. That sounds like a date. That isn't how I made it. It was a large dinner. It wasn't just a one-on-one. It was like 30 people, you know, there'd be churros or food or events. That was really poorly described, and I'm so sorry for uttering that sentence. Anyway, there are just so many things happening in the city that even if you don't have the Grace Hopper pass, you can still get invited to, either on Eventbrite, or if you want to go on like Facebook pages, you can find events and get invited in. So you still get a network. And I would say getting a hotel, if you can afford it and it's in your budget and like you're not stretching your wallet to do it, I'd absolutely still do that. Because, you know, even if you're not looking for a job, it's fun to network with other women in tech. Now for the fun part, park tickets. Now you're going to Orlando, you're going to want to see Disney World, you're going to want to see Universal. And you might be wondering like, hey, can I get like a deal? Like what is the deal, I guess? And to give you the answer, back in 2019, they arranged this program really, really late in the game. I think it was like a month or two before the conference when this went out. But pretty much, Anita Borg partnered with this tourism agency called Visit Orlando. I don't know if that's called. Anyway, some Orlando tourism agency where they where Grace Hopper attendees could get half-day tickets. I think it was like good from 3 p.m. onward. So you pretty much like go to Grace Hopper in the morning, you know, figure out what you want to do for lunch, and then you'd go to Disney or whatever. Some people did choose to use those. However, from my experience, I wouldn't necessarily say they were worth the value. I don't know if they're going to do it again though, because the year they did it, it was poorly organized, but it was well received. That said, many of the companies recruiting are going to be holding events at the park, and you know, it's not guaranteed you'll get in, but if you do, it's free. We like free things here, so I personally would just recommend networking with companies and trying to get invited to their events. I know Google held an event at Epcot that was like for either the next year's interns or the last year's interns, and they all got +1s. I really tried to network with Google interns, you know, to get invited. Their party seemed cool. I could not get invited. But if you're watching this and you're a Google intern and you're like, I'm bored, I need someone to talk to who's like mediocrely funny and who could take pictures of me for Instagram, I volunteer as tribute. Invite me as your +1 to go to the Google party if it's at Disney or Universal. But yeah, aside from that, anyway, other companies that were holding events at parks, there was a banking company, I don't remember if it was Chase or Bank of America, but one of them was holding an event in Animal Kingdom to recruit. Oh yeah, and there were, I think it was IBM and a couple other companies had events at Harry Potter World in Harry Potter World in Universal, yeah. And that year Universal was trying to recruit me, so they invited me to their event too. It was at their water park, and I was honestly so excited for this event because like I love water parks because they're like roller coaster rides, except less scary because they go slower. And so I was excited. I wore a swimsuit and everything and a cover up, and I get there and I was like, everyone else is dressed in business gear and they wouldn't let us swim. They were just using like a restaurant that happened to be in the park. You know, the food was okay, but like anyway, no one else seemed to care, but I just felt so awkward and uncomfortable. But again, no one else cared, so positives. I hope this helped you plan for next year, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I may make a video responding to them. Also, if you liked this video and want more videos around tech news or career advice or tech comedy, remember to subscribe. Anyway, have a great day, everyone, and hope to see you next year in Orlando. Bye!